James Thurber lost the vision in one eye after childhood accident. Not surprisingly, perhaps, he became bookish and fascinated with words. In his 40s, his good eye got progressively worse and left him virtually blind for the last 15 years of his life. The silver lining to all that comes out in stories like the one I'm going to read tonight. The attempt to make Thurber and his imagination into a sitcom in 1969 was called My World and Welcome to It. It was on NBC on Monday nights, and it starred the impeccable William Wyndham, who later did some remarkable one-man shows as James Thurber. My World and Welcome to It was also the title of Thurber's 1942 collection of short stories, which really marked the first of his darker writings, The Whippoorwill and A Friend to Alexander. But My World and Welcome to It also included The Joyous Secret Life of Walter Mitty and tonight's reading, which combines word obsession, creeping blindness, and hilarity. The Gentleman in 916 by James Thurber. One of my remarkable collection of maids wrote me a letter the other day. This girl named Maisie is the one who caused my hair to whiten overnight a few years ago by telling me when I got home one gloomy November evening, tired and jumpy, that there was something wrong with the doom-shaped thing in the kitchen. This monstrous menace turned out, too late to save my reason, to be the dome to her-shaped thing on the top of the electric icebox. Maisie's letter went along quietly enough for 2 paragraphs, listing the physical woes of herself and her family, a rather staggering list to be sure, but containing nothing to cause my white hair to stand on end. And then came an alarming sentence. I tried to see you in December, she wrote, but the timekeeper said you were in Florida. This was the first news I had had that there is a man holding a watch on me. All my doom-shaped fears came back in a rush. It is true that I was not in Florida at that time, but this did not comfort me. I could only guess that the man who is watching the sands run through my hourglass is not really on the job. What difference does it make where this bird is? He probably says to himself. He hasn't got many hours left, so why should I bother following him around? I'll just sit here and watch the clock. There are times, however, when I think he is keeping track, that he is right in the room with me. Since I have, for the time being, about 1/50th vision, I can't actually see him, but I can hear him. It is no illusion that the blind become equipped with the eardrums of an elk hound. I can hear a pin drop on a carpet. It makes 2 sounds, a sharp plop when it strikes the carpet, and a somewhat smaller sound, a faint thip when it bounces and strikes again. It is because of acute sharpness of ear that I hear, or think I hear, the timekeeper. This is always when I'm alone in a room, or think I am. I shut the radio off suddenly, and I hear him flitting across the carpet, making a sound about 3 times as loud as a pin. Hello, I say, but he never answers. Sometimes a waiter does, or a bellboy, or a maid who has crept into the room. On these occasions, the timekeeper slips into a closet or under the bed. I never ask the waiter or the bellboy or the maid to look for the hiding man, for consider how it would sound. It would sound like this. Waiter? Yes, sir. Would you mind looking under the bed? I think there is a timekeeper there. A timekeeper, sir? I'm sorry, sir, but it sounds as if you said timekeeper, sir. That's right, timekeeper. There's a timekeeper hiding somewhere in this room. A chap who wears sneakers and a suit of the same design as the wallpaper, probably. I'm very sorry. Shall I call your doctor? Nah, never mind. It's all right. Let it go. I haven't let anybody call the doctor yet, but I am planning to let one of the waiters do it one of these days, a waiter named Heist. He not only always brings the wrong order to me, but he's also the man who distributes the menus, shoving them under the door. To some people, a menu being shoved under a door would make only a faint, moving sound. But to me, it sounds like a man stepping on a market basket, and it is very disconcerting. So I'm going to let Heist call the doctor someday. You know what would happen to a man who phoned a doctor and said, "The gentleman in 916 here's timekeepers, sir"? He would be put away before sundown. I don't know who pays the timekeeper. I do, probably, without knowing it. I can't see my checkbook stubs. It is thoughtful of him at least to carry a watch which makes no sound at all. That would keep me awake at night when he sits in the chair at the foot of my bed. Even the sound of a wristwatch prevents me from sleeping because it sounds like 2 men trying to take a wheel off a locomotive. If I put stopples in my ears, the racket is deadened somewhat. Then the ticking is fainter and farther away, a comparatively peaceful sound, like 2 men trying to take a rug away from a bulldog. The Gentleman in 916 by James Thurber. That's Countdown for this, the 5th day since the Republicans' debt-ceiling blackmail worked. Speaker Boehner, where are the jobs and our AAA credit rating? Up next on Current, part of our series, 50 Documentaries to See Before You Die. One Day in September, the film about the 1972 Olympic massacre. I'm Keith Olbermann. Good night and good luck.